Hello, I'm Chris Pearce, and in this short video I'm going to tell you about my client Gemma and how a very simple but profound shift in her thinking allowed her to grow her income several times over. Now, Gemma set a company up 3 years ago with her best friend to design, make and sell high quality homeware. They had hundreds of ideas and quickly created a range of beautiful designer products for sale online, to upmarket retail outlets and via artisan craft fairs. Both women had a wealth of expertise behind them, covering design, manufacture, sales, marketing and general business know-how. And they were friends and knew each other well. This was a partnership made in heaven. How could it fail to be a roaring success? Well, when I met with Gemma, she was in complete despair. After 3 years, the business had not been able to cover costs, it couldn't pay either of them a decent income, and her best friend and partner had just told her that she wanted to dissolve the partnership and for them to go their separate ways. This was a massive bombshell for Gemma, who not only felt betrayed, but for the first time in her life, she felt a complete failure, and she didn't know how she was going to pay her mortgage either. When I met her, she was angry, bitter, frightened, and exhausted. She felt completely let down by her friend of many years. She felt stupid for not having known that this would happen. She had no idea how she could make the money she needed, and she was a nervous wreck from sleepless nights of worry. Gemma was focused on getting her partner to change her mind and to save what she could from the business at any cost, but all discussion ended in argument and conflict. I met both of them separately and then together, and quickly realised that although the skills of each were highly complementary, their visions of the business were completely different and incompatible. And guess what? They'd never discussed it. Now, people's visions of their lives and work don't generally change from one moment to the next, as they are so closely bound up with purpose. And purpose can be a lifelong pursuit. So it was clear that Gemma had to move on from the partnership, and as soon as she saw that, two things happened. Firstly, there was a very intense period of grief in which Gemma mourned for the loss of not only her business partner, but also her friend. And of course, she'd also lost 3 years of hard work that she put into the business to no effect, or so it seemed. It was hard for Gemma to do much for this time, and the future looked so frightening. Another factor in all of the emotions was the hurt that Gemma felt her partner had caused her. She wanted some kind of justice that would make things fair, not seem like her partner was the winner and she was the loser. I helped Gemma work very hard to take her mind away from putting the past right and instead putting all her mental and emotional energy into creating a fabulous future, the kind of future she'd always dreamt of. Gemma needed to understand that as soon as you blame anyone or anything else for your situation, you immediately throw away your power to change it. She learnt that lesson and very soon started to reap the benefits. Soon the burden of the past began to lift and the possibilities of the future started to inspire Gemma to take action. She negotiated with her partner to take on the company name and buy the remaining stock. She built a new site and started talking to old customers. Soon she was attending craft fairs and meetings with buyers from Fortnum & Mason and other prestige retailers in London. A friend offered her a soft loan, and she found everyone around her willing to support her and help her back to financial stability and security. Even her ex-partner and friend showed some flexibility in dealing with her, and Gemma came out of the deal with enough to build a future on. Now, the striking thing about Gemma's turnaround was that the intensity with which she felt what had happened to her was reflected in the intensity of her efforts to create a new enterprise. Anything that got in the way was treated as a temporary obstacle to be overcome with a minimum of effort and fuss. The promise of a great future spurred Gemma into very focused and intense activity. The loss of her partner was transformed into the feeling of freedom to do what she wanted without having to ask permission or agree with anyone else. Hugely liberating. Today, Gemma is no longer surviving, but truly thriving, and her business has become a channel for all her creative talents. Not only is she running a homeware business, creating, producing and selling goods online and via retail outlets, but she's also curating retail events for other niche producers in large retail spaces. Her income has increased several times over, and her focus has shifted from trying to make enough money to get by on to delivering as much value through her creative activities as she possibly can. And when people do this, the overwhelming fear of running out of money gets replaced by a feeling of abundance and security, which is far less dependent on the changing levels of income that all businesses experience. And all this because Gemma got to a place that she could not stand any longer and was willing to listen to a different way of dealing with her challenges. I'm Chris Pearce, and thank you for listening.